decision making. All of us. And President was saying, I don't know you will fear who are from no. Home from no. Oh no, you know how again. So often you be afumu yi bebre enti so ono so anya mfom so se ono akofa mpna ayaye enti sa wodi ni bi ba we de ono a na ekotwa okotwa camera say ya ebi o de beto ho ade access no say baby or to be ayaye no ana me say me nchire mu yayi but sa wo hwe the rationale and the motive e be kire wo say ebi o de to ho for records or de to ho for bibi ayaye but yesi enya yan hwe nipa dodo a yakoto a eye no eno ho nkomo na wo se yedi enti mesre say ene ma papa mobile ye ma report joy ni shira me boma baso mi senior aso so mesra mo jantoa mo mechia jantoa pa mechia senior enti no ene ma papa ma ba be cover no mesre say all the media. Thank
you very much. So that was Chairman Bernard Enchibosi, the NPP Regional Chairman for the Ashanti region, reacting to earlier incidents where the National Youth Organizer of the new Patriotic Party, Raphael Sarkodie Patrick, he actually after casting his ballot, he put the ballot public, and that ballot was actually nullified by the Electoral Commission because it's in contradiction with the rules or the rules governing this particular election. With me is the Honorable Majority Leader, the Member of Parliament for Swami constituency. Few minutes ago, he came here and went through the process and ensured that he cast his ballot. Honorable, thank you very much for joining us on Joy News. You came not long ago. I know that obviously you've been receiving information about how the process has gone so far. With what you've heard and what you've witnessed here, how do you see the election so far?
Well, I think that is quite smooth. What I'm witnessing, smooth. The security is super, and the Electoral Commission, their officers are also conducting themselves well. The agents who are sitting close by, I'm talking about the polling agents, are also witnessing what is going on. So at the end of the day, I think by we I mean the party would emerge victorious. In a contest, one or two people may emerge victorious. If they emerge victorious, it's the same party which has emerged victorious. They are all fruits and products of the party. So whoever emerges, the five that we want now, in the order of business, in the seconds, we may see one person shooting up. But the party, by our rules, obligates us to select 5 out of the 10. Right? I want to see at the end of the day that we having the 5 in that order to avoid any tie which may occasion maybe resorting to some other means to select the 5. If, for instance, we have 5 and 6 tying, what happens? Then we have to a contest between the two to select one, or maybe one of them may drop out voluntarily. We don't want to have that. The 5 should stand out, and then we go into the next round.
So I don't know. Let's talk about an incident that happened earlier as you walked in here. When you came, I heard people speculating your ballots, where you are going to vote.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't?
I didn't hear that.
So let me describe what happened. Yes. People were speculating where you are voting to, that the candidates they believe you vote in favor. Yes. And later, some people who were not happy about what the people were doing, they were actually booing you. I don't know if you heard those noises.
I heard some noise behind, but I didn't even tend to look. I mean, why should anybody be speculating where I'll be voting? Or why should people be doing because they think that you'll be voting in the other direction? Don't you have faith in your candidates?
But did you have a candidate before today?
No, don't you have a candidate? I have somebody that I support.
So you've declared support for somebody prior to today?
You know.
Is that not the beginning of division into your party?
It's the beginning of division. I'm a member of parliament, right? I qualify to contest. I have not declared. From amongst ourselves, somebody has declared for himself. Is that a symbol of division? Somebody who is a member of parliament has declared for himself. that he wants to contest. I have not declared for myself. I've said that no, I'm declaring for somebody else. What's the divisionism that it breeds?
Are you optimistic of victory for your candidates?
I hope to God. I hope to God.
Can you give a fair idea of the percentage that you expect him to chalk?
Well, elections, you are not too sure. You can't be 100% sure, right? But by my own calculations, I believe that he will score not less than 80%.
So, in today's election, there are some people who have breached the rules of this particular election. Someone tried to, that's the National Youth, the Regional Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. After casting his ballot, he showed his ballot to the public, and by that means the Electoral Commission tried to nullify the ballot. They actually did. It brought some disturbance here. What is your reaction to such breach of electoral regulations?
I wasn't here, so I'm not able to really comment on that. The fact that the person shows his ballot may amount to no breach, right?
But the EC said it's a breach to.
No, I'm saying if the person shows his ballot, what is the ballot? The ballot is the paper on which you thumbprint and vote, right? If I show my ballot, what's the breach? So merely showing a ballot may not amount to anything.
What if you cast it and show it?
But if you cast it and show it, it may not amount to a breach. Maybe if you cast it, depending on the rules, and show where you voted, that may be trying to influence others, right? That may be a breach. I'm saying that I don't want to comment on it because I'm not here. I don't know exactly how it happened.
Honorable, let me make you clarify this thing for me. Kwame Owusu, campaign manager for Kennedy Japan, alleges that some voters were camped at Norda Hotel yesterday prior to today's election. What do you have to say on this?
I don't know if that's...
You didn't get any call from anybody to meet at a specific, a particular location?
I had a call from somebody who wanted to know whether I knew the phone number of a particular chairman, and that I should call the chairman for him. And I asked that guy why he was calling that chairman, and whether he knew the person he was calling. And we all laughed over it. The person who called is not a supporter of Anancha Martin. The person who is called is not a supporter of Alhaji Bawumia. He's a supporter of one of the other candidates.
Is it true that some of these voters have been induced prior to today's election?
I can't comment on that. What is inducement?
Being given money to vote in favor of the person who did give the person money.
Oh, so if you build a house for somebody, there's no inducement.
Not in exchange of votes.
Please, let's not go into these things.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I have no evidence of any inducement, so I don't want to comment on whatever.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that is the Majority Leader of Parliament and Member of Parliament for Swami, Mosechi Mensah Bonsu, who has actually described the electoral process as a peaceful one. And in the end, he is expecting that everything will go on smoothly for the New Patriotic Party during the special delegates conference. Nana.
So before now, let's give you a rundown of what actually happened. Hours back, we had the regional youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Safo Raphael Patrick. He came in here after casting his ballot. He showed the ballot to the public, and a lot of people were not happy about it, including the Electoral Commission. So what the Electoral Commission did was to go ahead and nullify his votes, and that brought some kind of disturbances among the supporters of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and also the supporters of other 9 candidates who are within this election. So what actually happened that the police had to step in and ensure that there is some calm at the location. So in your short is...
So what you can see right now is some delegates and supporters cheering up some of these special voters coming into the auditorium to cast their vote.
So
now we have in our shots the former
Minister for Agriculture, Osei Efriakuto, Owusu Efriakuto. Honorable, what are your expectations for today with regards to the Special Delegate Conference?
It's a win for Owusu Efriakuto.
Honorable, what percentage do you think you can win with?
So that is Dr. Efriakuto. He just came in and he is walking into the inner perimeter to cast his ballot. So you can see some of his supporters very happy about his entrance and they are cheering him on. So moving out of this location is the Member of Parliament for Swami constituency. Member of Parliament for Swami constituency. Osei T. Mensah Bonsu. And I don't know if they were actually cheering him on or they were booing him. It looks like it was a mix of the two. There are some people who believe in his choice and they were actually cheering him on, and there are others who were booing him. So it's kind of a mixed reaction among the supporters of various candidates within this election.
So when I spoke to Honorable Owusu Efriakuto, the former Minister for Agriculture, he says...
Right, so that is a wrap of what's happening in the Asante region, where the regional location for the voting by special delegates is the KNUST School of Law. Our two correspondents there bringing us all the way up to date with the drama that has unfolded there, including the disqualification of one of the super delegates for showing his ballot to the public. Now, the Super Delegates Conference coverage is coming to you live from the Joy News channel. It's also live on Joy 99.7 FM and on all our social media handles, including our YouTube channel. It's brought to you in association with Petrosol. Clean fuel in full quantity is always a delightful experience. Every drop matters, yes, just as every penny counts. Did you know that good quality fuel enhances your vehicle's performance and reduces maintenance costs? Well, take no risks. In times like these, all you need is value for your money. So look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol fuel station. Yeah, Petrosol. You go to the station for accurate quality of high quality fuel. Be a happy customer. Fill with smiles, drive more miles, and save some money. Petrosol is your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. My name is Kojo Yankson. I'm going to be here with you until 2 p.m. and the intrigue is building up. Earlier, my colleague MFA Apo spoke to the campaign manager for Alan Kyerematen, Yaw Boabeng Asamoah. He was livid with what he called malpractices in the ongoing Special Delegates Conference. Let's get the details now.
And what is there for us to know this morning, sir?
This is not an event. This is a process. And we've been very happy to work as contestants with the party headquarters in fashioning out rules that will prevent intimidation and make sure that this vote is free and fair. The rules are solid, but as we speak, incidents in the Northeast region have made us very, 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 very disturbed. Our agent in the
Right, we must apologize for that interruption in the transmission. We are bringing you the full detail of the conversation with Yaw Boabeng Asamoah, who alleges that the polling agent in the Northeast region, which happens to be the home region of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who's one of the 10 candidates in the Super Delegates contest, was attacked. Let's continue with what he said to the press.
To put his foot down. With adding and including the Northeast results in this election will mean that the results are a sham. And it will go on in other places from what we are hearing. In Kumasi, fortunately, when the youth organizer did that, the vote was invalidated. The youth organizer voted and showed it. For whose benefit are they showing it? They are showing it for the benefit of the vice president. It is the vice president whose vote they are showing to the world. It was invalidated. It almost resulted in a cancellation. It was cancelled, but it almost resulted in the cancellation of the entire election because it almost degenerated into a quarrel. In the Northeast, they have beaten our agent Our agent is in the hospital. And they were showing the vote because they were voting for the vice president. They've been asked to show the vote.
But Honorable,
if they are the result, it's obviously a public sham. That's why I'm telling the entire world, including His Excellency the President, to put his foot down. Because if we all make rules and we decide that the rules will not be enforced, the rules are for the benefit of the public and the candidates, and yet on the ground they will not be enforced, force is applied, impunity is applied, and nobody is able to do anything about it, then the result is a sham.
Honorable, some can say that, your request is a bit far-fetched. The matter could be easily resolved. Why?
In what way will the matter be resolved? If the ballots that were showed have gone into the box, how will the matter be resolved? The ballots that are being showed have been put in the box. How will the matter be resolved? The rules say that any ballot that is showed is invalid. That is what the rules say. Any ballot that is showed is invalid. So if you are voting systematically and showing it systematically, and the EC are looking on, the police are looking on, and our agent is assaulted for protesting, then it's grounds enough to reject the entire result.
Are you foreseeing the defeat? That is why
it is not about there is nothing like defeat in this. It is a selection. It's a mere selection. We are enforcing the rules. Margin of what victory for the vice. There's no victory where you select 5 people. Where is the victory? You are selecting 5 people. We are talking victory. Those who need it to demonstrate their emptiness are the ones who are pursuing victory.
Yeah, I see.
Those who need it to demonstrate emptiness are the ones who are pursuing victory. There's nothing about victory in this. What it is that the party is peacefully selecting 5 people who will go to the true election. There's only one true election, November 4th. But to begin to assault agents at this time and to begin to flout the rules with impunity means that the president, His Excellency, the party leadership who are in charge of the election, and the vice president's faction, I'll call them a faction because they are behaving like a faction, so ought to beware.
Alleged is assaulting your agent.
The agent is in hospital.
Who is assaulting?
He's reported the police, and he's been assaulted. He's in the hospital in the northeast. The reports will come out. He's gone to the police. The police have given the hospital form, and the statement to the police will be made public in due time. So we have reported. We have reported.
If that's the case, why are you quick to call on the vice president to put his feet down?
Yes, because they are doing it on his behalf. It is his vote that they are showing. They are not showing Alan Martin's vote. It is the vice president's vote they are showing to confirm that they voted for him.
Are you saying
the party has structures?
Are you citing poor security in the northeast region?
I am saying that the rules are being infringed with impunity. And when our agent, who is supposed to protect our interests, protested, he was assaulted. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that means that the vote in the northeast has been contaminated. And that vote that has been contaminated, yes, we are filing everything. We are doing everything. We are bringing it to your public notice that the Chiremati team will move for invalidation of the entire northeast regional results. Thank you very much.
That was Yabwabeya Samoa earlier speaking at the NPP headquarters, alleging the assault of the Alan Kyerematen polling agent in the northeast region, which happens to be the home region of the vice president, who, alongside Alan Kyerematen, is contesting for the top 5 positions in this super delegates conference happening in all the regions of Ghana as we speak. Now, we've got so much to get through today, so much analysis, so much monitoring. We're going to be bringing you every single detail as it unfolds, and you can see that it's already shaping up to be a very dramatic day indeed. It's 12:35, and already we've had votes invalidated. We've had polling agents attacked. Kennedy Agyapong also alleges that his polling agents have been chased into a room. All of these will be brought to you right here on your election headquarters on Joy. All right, stay tuned. It's my pleasure to introduce, to help us with analysis this morning, Dr. Asa Asante, Joy of Ghana. Dr. Asante, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Pedro, good to see you.
What a dramatic start.
We are in interesting times, but very much so. It is also unfortunate because I thought that the MPP has come a long way, and that things of this nature would not be seen, even if it's going to be all effort will be done to nip it in the bud. But unfortunately, it has blown on our face, and we are seeing it. It undermines every aspect of democratic process, that there is intimidation, harassment, and the rest of them. These are the evils that affect free and fair elections. So I believe that the party leadership should rise up to the occasion and put their foot down and then deal with this issue head on. What I also expect from the election management body, that is the Electoral Commission overseeing all this process, is that let them regulate the conduct of the people using the rules that the party has set and apply it without fear or favor. If they try anything contrary to this, I'm afraid they are going to disrupt the whole process, and that will not bode well for a party which wants to break the eight.
Now, in a moment, we'll bring you an exclusive interview between our very own MFR Apo and Freddie Blay, who used to be the chairman of the NPP, after which we'll bring you more analysis in the studio. But we can go now to find out what Freddie Blay said to MFR.
Joy 99.7 FM.
This is a little likely. I don't want to be very categorical on anything that I'm saying. No, but this is a human institution, right. And politics itself is a normative science or your precision. Right. And so you can't be precise over anything. But about to Abenam, and then it's also to indicate this is the direction the party is going. And quite a number of people could be swayed towards that. Maybe even me, I could be swayed towards that. I think that's what I want to tell you. That.
Chairman, finally, there concerns the Allied campaign team members. One of them have been assaulted in Northeast region.
That should be unfortunate. It shouldn't be the case. This is a family affair or a contest, yes, but it is a contest within a family. When people step out of the order and rather go a little violent, I would consider that to be unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. But if it does happen, it's something that we should sanction anybody who is found guilty of assaulting a brother, even if it is a general election. It shouldn't happen that way.
After this election,
thank you very much.
The Super Delegates Congress is a way of just trimming down the number. Going forward, it should remove the Super Delegates Congress system out of it. What do you think of that?
No, we will talk about that later. At the moment, that is what is in place. The council have agreed, Congress did agree, and we put that in place years ago. If there will be a change, we will discuss that.
How is electing a flag bearer early for you as a party critical ahead of the 2024 elections?
It's good. It's good. It will help us, tighten corners and maybe more importantly, reconcile our party members.
Chairman, I know you want to break the 8, so you need a candidate.
We have to break the 8.
So how are you ensuring that? This is the first step.
This is the first step. It's a process. That's why we are, as I said, polishing our boots and putting everything in order. What we are doing here is gingering the party base and making sure that we all are adding them towards whom we want to follow as our flag bearer to be against that of the NDCs. So I think so far that's very positive.
With this election, what's the signal to NDC?
Well, to tell them that we are getting ready for them.
You are not getting ready. We
are still getting ready. We can't be 100% ready, but we are working towards that.
But the claims are that your government has poorly managed the economy. What do you make of that?
I disagree with those who say so. That's the NDC propaganda. Definitely within the circumstances of the time, global challenges, difficulties, and what we have had, COVID had brought it. In spite of that, the economy is still on its feet. People are being paid, those who are working. School fees being paid. NHS is working. Infrastructure, we are still constructing and building infrastructure. I will say that there are difficulties, yes, challenges, yes, but so far, so good.
Is there any hope for the youth with MPP in government?
Definitely, they have no other option but to follow. We shouldn't be frustrated. We shouldn't give up. Challenges there are, as I said. there will be more, maybe 20, 30 years ahead. But that doesn't mean that resilience and our preparedness and our hope for the future should not ginger us to work together towards building this country. You're most welcome.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Right then, let's get more detail about this polling agent who was allegedly beaten mercilessly in the northeast region. I believe we can go there now to join our correspondent Jadam Yao Boache, who has the details of this. Jadam, good morning to you. What exactly happened?
This is unfortunate incident happened this morning. Before, in the process when the voting was ongoing, where one of the aspirants and one of the agents or coordinators of the Alan for Northeast region, in the person of Ali Zakaria, was assaulted in the voting hall. And according to him, he said in the process of the voting, someone voted and an attempt to show the ballot paper to the other delegates who were in the line to go and vote. So he questioned why that should happen, and that was where some of the delegates around pounded on him and assaulted him mercilessly. And indeed, blood was oozing out of his eye, and it needed to be rushed to the Nalerigu Baptist Medical Center for treatment.
Right. Now, tell us what action has been taken by the voting or the election officials and by the police, who were both there when this happened.
Well, the manner in which the voting place was organized, it was in a manner that didn't allow the media to get closer even to the hall. We're about 50 meters away from the voting center. So it happened, the incident happened in the voting hall where the voting was taking place, and the man were outside, saw the man rushing out from the hall, and the police have to accompany him to a safer place. So the police really accompanied him to the safer place for him to attend to hospital.
Right, so you haven't been able to ascertain what action, if any, has been taken regarding, first of all, the allegation of the showing of the ballot, and secondly, the attack on this polling agent. You haven't been able to ascertain what action has been taken following these incidents.
Yeah, actually, we have not been able to ascertain. I have not been able to ascertain actually whether something has been done with regards to the allegation that Alan coordinator alleged. But in an interaction with some of the delegates after the voting, the voting ended about some 45 minutes ago, and some of the delegates came out and they were saying that the allegation that somebody wanted to show his vote to the other delegates was untrue, because the person, according to some of them, they said the person was in the process of voting, erased the paper. He didn't show the paper completely out, erased the paper just to place it where to vote, and then the Alan guy allegedly said that he was showing it up. So I didn't see anything wrong with that.
Okay, well, I know you'll keep an eye on things for us, and of course, you need to get your eyes on the collation process so that we'll get some early numbers as soon as we can. So I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much for that update. Now, this has sparked conversation across the country, even though it happened in the northeast region. We've had party officials of all standing respond to this. MFR Peru has engaged with many of them at the NPP headquarters here in Accra. The last person she spoke to on this was the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartey.
Yeda ukedi amponya kupasi. Yedika yetasumienu yeda ye president Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo any presidency asik. Tosumiensa yeda national chairman Owura Stephen Intim, and in the national executives as regional chairman, constituency chairman, and a party for you. Nancy American San say, and now Osha Obeun say, MPP once again, we have demonstrated to the world that we are a party that is organized. And no matter what it is, we use the process to elect somebody who the party would have reposed the trust and confidence in to lead the party. And that is exactly what you are saying.
Okay. And you share the security aspect. Security on grounds. You say almost too much for just a party internal election. What are you saying?
Media sida biumbema yura. Ura dampari. Mini nyira ni pape. Yana yanuma yepe discipline bebre. Yana ni pampe yasem. But discipline there, and a Ghana police and other security and intelligence agencies. Say black pedal. Professor Mo almost so in uniform. They are Sidabe Momo. It's also share the organization. We share said the Niamati Noa, Ibia Eda Hokama. Empo Yan Fancy Dama MPP Mapa. Nipa going Ugo say the Nije. Emma who be say, Yehu. Any idea, any year, and talk about any hope. Any page in a hay, a be a Christopher, a be a Muslim for, and your mocks back on your bonfire. Your bomb mocks, and yet a sorry back, may call Pentecost, will be called Anglican, will be called Catholic, meaning on Yakutan Crony or some more. So it is allowed for a party at this stage for people to express their will to make a choice and also to belong somewhere. It is fine.
Now, party no share some peaceful election throughout. Report a free North East, a batch say Alan Chamatini agent of Wabrono, Amanoda, Ayarsabia, what is Assam?
Minyanti,
and your boy money.
Nemono, Sasana Banidia, unfortunate. Empo sebi producer computer poeto biayana a mistake akra computer utumi bonso opresia emma enu nkyerese ye friend say Google one hwe Google map no Uber no okwa no actually this is your final destination so hwe hwe to say that be your final destination Google kura o and so den no with a competition or an election of this nature there is a likelihood say bibi kakra beba it should not mar the beauty of the elections as we are seeing today.
As a regional minister, are you aware of any campaign?
Let's stop for this one. Before Honorable is
when you say campaign, how do you mean?
Yes, so there are reports of some aspirants allegedly.
Well, I have not heard anything. I have just come to vote. And I know that all the delegates have also gone to vote. Now, let's be very careful. You see, all those who are voting are over 18 years of age. Nobody can go anywhere against his or her will. So camping, you will be making reference to kidnapping, which is a criminal offense. Has anybody complained that he's been kidnapped? No. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? When you say camping, see, camping, Masa, Obia, sorry, Oko Stadium, Oko Trawa, Obi na Nkoye. No, Nipe to a chairman, women, are very responsible citizens and adults and leaders of our party. If they choose to go and sit somewhere, does that mean that they've been camped? They have not been camped. So I think that we should move away from this speculation and propaganda that will mar the beauty of the elections that we are holding. No, please. I'm going to ask you a question. Did you see it? Yes, so don't report what you have not seen, please. Do not report what you have not seen. You see, the media has helped Ghana for democracy to thrive and to deepen. It is our responsibility as media people to also balance our reportage so not to incite the people. That's what I say. Well,
former communication director of NP.
Mean the Wakano. And I mean, meaning baby crap, I didn't see it.
Not East region.
So I am not there, I'm here. So how do I speak to something that I don't know? Maybe yes, if you had spoken about Great Accra, I could have said, okay. If mentioned Greater Accra, I could have said, oh, I see it. But you are mentioning baby, me and I'm see it. And to me, shed the woman, no, dear baby, Asa, and yes, sir, sanity.
Joy 99.7
Henry Korte, Regional Minister for the Greater Accra region, interacting with media, including our very own MFAPO, at the national headquarters of the NPP. They, of course, are seeing their super delegates coming together in the different regional voting centers to select the top 5 who will make it to the next stage of their campaign to choose their flag bearer. Now, the 10 in question, of course, so much has been said about them. We know them all intimately. But as we go into this process, we're starting to see divisions form, and we're starting to see some very interesting justifications for what most would call voting malpractice. And Dr. Asante, earlier we saw the conversation with the leader of Parliament, Mr. Osei Mensah-Bonsu, where he said that showing your ballot is not necessarily, breaking the rules. Also, he asked, what is inducement?
That is unfortunate, because every election must be organized in a secret manner so as not to influence people. Let people go there on their own accord, decide who they want to give their vote to. That's all. And if you do anything contrary to this, you have breached the process. That is pure and simple. I was surprised that he was giving that type of justification. And these are some of the things that we do, and then we embolden people to undertake certain activities during election, and it doesn't augur well for a meaningful democracy. He was also asking what is inducement and all that. I'm sure, that question was inappropriate. He knew very well that when we say inducement, he knew what it entailed, and that he couldn't have, gloss over it. Inducement is part of the electoral process, and when people see it, they have every right to voice it out. Because once you are induced into voting in a certain direction, you have been shortchanged. That at the end of the day, the candidate that the society wants believe that he will be the material worth considering for the job that is, ahead of the society. You are not going to get that person. You are only going to be moved by what? Monetary or material consideration. And that doesn't come close to anything that influences voter choice.
Was this perhaps his way of pointing out that perhaps the rules have too many gray areas? Perhaps the NPP's own constitution and the rules around their elections may not be as explicit as they should be on specifically what is seen as inducement and what is, for example, seen as supporting the process. We saw in the NDC process where the current front runner for flag bearer, John Mahama, actually spent, he is the flag bearer now, spent about 40 cents per head on every single delegate. Was that inducement or not? Is it perhaps the fact that there are too many gray areas around this and that we need to clarify what these breaches are, what constitutes these breaches, so that it's easier to call them?
There are no gray areas. It's deliberate on the part of the political actors. They always want to hide behind semantics and all manner of explanation just to get away with some of these things. They know inducement is inducement. Anything apart from message that will really influence a voter to vote in one direction or another constitute an inducement, and it's a crime that it must be condemned and punished accordingly. But you see, for politicians, anything that will kneel to their benefit, they are quick to justify it and defend it to the hilt. But what they forget is that By so doing, you undermine the very process that you want to maintain at all times. And the effect is what we see sometimes. You see democratic reversals, that people have toiled so much about democracy, and democracy is whittled away through certain evils and all that. I don't want us to get there, because this country has traveled a long while to reach where we are. A lot of sacrifices and all that. And that we should not sacrifice, it on the altar of what winning power. No. There is power all the time, but we must think about the state. This state must exist before you look for anything called power to administer it.
But is it fair to expect, political leaders to abstain from these things when in reality, those who abstain lose? It's those who distribute resources, those who, share inducements, they're the ones who win. So is it even logical to ask for leaders, political leaders, to be the first to blink, to abstain from this kind of behavior in hope that somehow they will still emerge victorious against people who are sharing rice?
Yeah, if we go by this type of logic, then we can even extend it further to say that even if you commit crime, you have the right to live as a human being. Is that what the society is looking forward to? No. Crime is crime, wrong is wrong, and we need to condemn it. But if we want to play ostrich, the effect will dawn on us sooner than later. In politics, you will take a decision, you either get immediate results or the results will come in the future. But whatever form that it will come, you are going to bear the brunt of that. And that is something that we must shy away from. Today you think that what you are doing will be beneficial to you, but you have left something that will going to be what? A headache for the society. Is that how we want to build a society?
Now come with me, Doc, to the central region, where, they were not spared from the drama of this special delegates conference. Kennedy Agyapong was seen in a video very agitated and accusing party officials of having his polling agents locked in a room and prevented from participating in the exercise. Now, media men were stopped from filming Kennedy Agyapong once this outburst began. Political party executives are upset that this video is going viral. But what is the truth of the matter? Let's go to the UCC quadrangle. Our very own Hayden Essel is there. He's been following events. Hayden, what exactly went down, and how did the media end up being prevented from filming what was occurring? If we can have you unmute so that we can hear what you're saying, Hayden. It's difficult to follow. Let's get
Hello.
Hayden. There you are. Yeah, so you were saying.
Yeah. So after Honorable finished casting his vote, he said that he is now going around to be an observer. And so he left the election grounds. He wasn't even close. And then the media people were still at the election grounds when we heard that there was a bit of an issue with the phone call that he was making. So we rushed there, and it seemed the phone call had just blown out of proportion, if you can say that. And he was fuming that some of his polling agents have been prevented from going to the party, the election ground to monitor the elections for his camp. And so he was very angry, and then he said, part of his words were that he promises Bawumia, the vice president, and then the president's a showdown. He was very angry. As to who called and who he later called to make those remarks, we don't know. But when I got there and tried to take some video, some of his people around him tried to push our phones away. So it was very difficult to take a video. And then later we could see that some party officials were going around making remarks that how is the video out, and then they seemed very upset that the video was out.
Have you had any limitation to the scope?
That's the issue here.
Have you been limited as media in any way to the scope of what you can cover, which areas you can film in since this event happened? Is there any kind of limit on your movement in the voting area?
And lots of limits. For instance, since the beginning of the election today here at the UCC Quadrangle, the media is not allowed to go close to where the election is actually being held. So we are outside, not even close at all. We can't even take pictures of the delegates while they are casting ballots. So it's been very difficult. The security has been very tight. So it's been a bit difficult to get to certain areas. So the media is trying to be all around wherever an issue is. So sometimes something can happen somewhere, and because of security restrictions, it's been very difficult to go to certain areas. But for now, the media is not allowed to get anywhere where the voting is actually taking place.
Right. Thank you for that update, Hayden. We'll be coming back to you for more. Now, check your watch. It's 1 o'clock. Voting has closed across the country. There is absolutely nothing any of these contenders can do to affect the outcome beyond this point. Now it's a matter of collation. And of course, we will be keeping a close eye on how that happens. The media were kept at a distance from the voting process, but for the collation process, in order for it to be transparent, the media will have to have eyes on. Our very own Samuel Mbura is at the headquarters here in Accra. So, Mbura, tell us, with what level of fanfare did the voting come to an end, and how have the collation processes started to shape up?
There's tension actually mounting here at the headquarters of the MPP because voting has come to an end. We know that the National Council members and the top hierarchy of the party, this is where they came to cast their ballots, about 203 of them, and then the exercise started at 9 a.m. and it has come to an end. So sorting and counting is underway. But before then, they had to call in the SWAT unit of the Ghana Police Service to come and take control of security. So at the moment, they are inside the premises of the MPP headquarters here. They've even mounted a barricade inside. But in the front of the gate, you also see police officers ready to control the crowd, and everything is in order here. Everyone, or the supporters here, are really patiently waiting for the outcome of the voting here at the party's headquarters. We had a number of dignitaries coming to cast their ballots here. Just about 30 minutes ago, I spoke with the Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dame, and then he was happy about the exercise so far at the headquarters here. So those we have spoken to have not expressed any issues with the process so far. They think it has been smooth. They think the MPP is actually exhibiting democracy to the NDC, because they say they believe in the rule of law, and that is what they are showing Ghanaians today. So far, I must say the exercise has been peaceful at the headquarters, and it has come to an end. So as you can see, they are calling the media to come in. So let me just take you in to show you what is currently happening in the premises of the MPP headquarters. So like I said, security is very, very tight here. And for you to go inside, you have to maneuver your way through. So this is how the inside of the election area or the voting area is like at the MPP headquarters. So right in my shorts, the SWAT unit of the Ghana Police personnel, they have taken position to ensure that the crowd is controlled. So we have the Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, COP Dr. Gariba, in the middle there, ensuring that his men control the crowd. So the media has been allowed to get into the premises of the MPP headquarters for us to monitor the exercise. So we have the EC officials now bringing out trying to prepare the stage for them to do the sorting and the counting. So we have one of the officers lifting the ballot box. It's actually one ballot box here that contains all the 203 votes that were cast by the delegates. So the sorting is about to begin. We have the agents for all the aspirants, 10 aspirants. I can see the
the agent for Dr. Cornelia Preko, Mr. Nkansa. I can see Hobson Adaye for Alan Chamante. I can also see the rest of the agents for the other aspirants with the elections director of the MPP, Evans Nimako, having a bit of conversation with them. So they are now going to pour the ballots on the table that the EC has mounted in the middle of the MPP headquarters, the premises of the MPP headquarters, and then the sorting would begin. So security is very, very, very tight here, Kojo, I must say, and everyone is waiting patiently to hear the results from the headquarters of the MPP. So this particular center constitutes the largest among all the 17 across the country, followed by the Ashanti region that has about 119 delegates casting their ballot. So if you ask me, I must say that it is somehow an impatient atmosphere whilst the EC officials are engaging the agents of the various aspirants before they can start the sorting of these ballot papers, and then the counting would begin. So most of the party executives are also here. The election committee members are also around, even though some of them have declined not to speak to us on record. They are waiting for us to finish the process, then they can share their views. But outside the premises of the MPP headquarters, we have supporters patiently waiting for the results to be declared. And then from here, we'll move to the Electoral Commission's office, where they will have the entire declaration of those the entire results of this election. So this is where we'll determine who makes it to the next stage of the MPP's Delegates Congress in November 4. So after today, we have the number trimmed down to 5 from 10. So Kojo, we are monitoring. You can take over from me in the studio. Whatever the updates may be, we'll surely link up and then bring you the feed here.
It's our very own Samuel Mbura, who is at the NPP headquarters. Now, the Greater Accra Regional Center for Voting was actually the YMCA. Let's go there. Let's see how the collation process is beginning. Our very own Richard Kojonyako is on standby. Richard, what sort of, was it an eventful day, and how have the collation processes begun?
Welcome to the YMCA Center, and this is where the Greater Accra region voted.
Sailing. As I speak with you, voting has ended and the sorting is underway, and I can tell you that in a matter of 10 minutes we should know who among them will form the first 5, and the supporters and delegates have all gathered here. In fact, the place has been cordoned off, a lot of security restrictions, and so you can see in your shots that the various polling agents of the various aspirants, they are keenly monitoring the process to ensure that there are no untoward actions or decisions that are taken. And so it's been generally smooth. We've been having conversations with the communications minister, a lot of the members of parliament here. Some of them think that this actual process was not that necessary. In fact, they allude to cost and time wasting. They felt that if there were about 20 people or 30 people that were contesting, they should have allowed them to contest rather than organizing a special delegate conference to actually whittle down the number to 5, and then in November they will go for another round. They feel that it is time consuming, and it is also sapping a lot of the energy of these people that are actually contesting for the exam, because they have to travel around the country to woo or sway voters to their side in order for voting to be done. And so very soon counting will begin, but right now it is sorting that is currently underway. Kojo.
Thank you, Richard. And of course, let's keep those images on the screen because these are coming from the 2 centers here in Accra, the YMCA and the NPP headquarters, where the collation process has begun. As you can see, the electoral officials are counting and sorting the votes, and in a matter of minutes, we will know the outcomes from there. We can go right now to the Upper West region, where they wasted absolutely no time in putting numbers together. Our very own Rafiq Salam has been there for that collation process. Rafiq, are we already seeing numbers coming through?
We are done here in the Upper West region, and then I can tell you that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Vice President, has really won the day. Out of the 32 votes that were cast here, he got 23. And then following him closely, as Alan Kudo Chiramanten, he got 4 votes. Dr. Akoto Afriye also got 3 votes, and Kennedy Oina Japan also got 2 votes. The rest of the other 6 aspirants got no votes.
Right. Well, that's conclusive. We'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. Now, these are the numbers for the Upper West region as shared by our very own Rafiq Salam. Thank you, Rafiq. I'm going through those numbers right now. Dr. Bawumia has scored 23 votes in the Upper West region. Dr. Akoto Afriye came second with 3 votes. Alan Chiramanten came second with 4 votes, forgive me. Dr. Akoto Afriye came third with 3 votes, and Kennedy Agyapong fourth with 2 votes. The other candidates got no votes. Any reactions to these numbers so far, Rafiq?
For now, we haven't gotten any reaction from the people around. But earlier speaking to the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Phoebe Saleh, and also the regional chairman of the MPP, Chairman Kambare, and then also the Interior Minister, Ambrose Dere, they knew that where the pendulum was swinging, and they have been saying where it will go, because they think that their favorite candidate, the man who can lead the MPP, was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So for them, they are not really surprised about the way things have panned out right here. The only person who objected to some of these statements have to be the MP for Lamuse, who's a dying good supporter of Alan Kojo Chiramanten, the person of Brian Baligi. He is saying that it will be Alan Chiramanten who, when he leaves, it will at least try to shift the attention of the party from the government, which will liberate the party from the government.
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back per demo. Vodafone.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Joy 99.7 FM.
We'll be getting even more numbers coming through, because as you can imagine, every region has a very small number to collate. It's a super delegates conference. So less than 1% of the total delegates of the NPP participated in this vote. The numbers will be coming through very, very quickly. It will soon become apparent to us who falls where in the hierarchy of things. Dr. Asasante, Upper West, any surprises?
Oh no, it doesn't surprise anybody. Why am I saying this? Because you are talking politics. People always gravitate towards those who hail from that region. So always you tend to have some votes in that direction. Quite apart from that, the vice president also, in his position as a vice president, had done a lot of work in that area. And that is how they are paying him off, aside other factors that also influence the choice in that area. Let us remember that this is a very small constituency. So whenever you see, I'm happy you told the whole world that this is just a small fraction of a lot to come. But at least it gives us something to ponder over and all that. It tells you that there is Bawumia dominance in that area. And if the election went on free and fair, then you realize that his dominance was there, at least for this round.
Now, Dr. Efiri Akoto placed third in the region. He didn't, I remember we spoke about this earlier this week, he didn't even crack your top 5.
Yes.
Do you still stand by that, or do you think he's still an upset?
I stand by all the numbers that I gave you. Yes. It's early days yet. Yes. You will, I said that day that there's no doubt that he has also served his country well as a former Minister of Agriculture, and agric permeates every shades of life of every Ghanaian in this country, one way or the other. And being a minister, there are, in politics, let me put it this way, there are certain portfolios, when given to you, you become popular overnight. If you look at a portfolio such as finance, you are known. Education and the rest of them. One that comes closer is also what? Agriculture, because it's the mainstay of this country and all that. And if you do your work well, obviously you'll be seen. But I'm saying that his performance, yes, even though it shows that he is the third person, he marshals some forces. It's early days yet.
But you don't think the visibility he got from his ministerial portfolio will translate across all the regions into votes?
That you can't say for sure for all the regions, because there are a lot of criticisms people have leveled against the work he did in the ministry, that some people believe that they did not see much of him and the rest of it. So it's a mix of factors that are going to play out. But remember that it's just one vote difference from the person following him and all that. You see the constituency with huge numbers, they want to see how it will play out. So it's early day yet. Yeah.
0 for everyone else. I mean, and look at the roster of people. Kwabena Japan, you've got Joe Garte, all these, people with big political histories. Boakye Jackson, not a single vote in that region.
Yes, it is also an interesting phenomenon there, because why? It tells you that the delegates, perhaps the things they were looking forward to hearing from them, they did not provide that. And it could be one of the reasons why they voted that way. But in party politics, where you see a party, a political, a politician or an actor or a political candidate dominance, you tend to have such results. If that person's personality is over and above the rest of them, you are likely to score 0 if you don't match up in terms of what the people are looking forward to. We've seen that in Ghanaian politics, where when you feel certain candidates in that area, they pull a lot, and you realize that all the small parties virtually run home with something meager or nothing. That is a clear manifestation of what we are seeing here. But having said this, I still maintain that it's early days yet, and we are talking about a small constituency and all that. We'll come to know the big constituencies, and the dynamics definitely will change.
Absolutely. The numbers are pouring in. We're going to be sharing them with you. And of course, just to explain our process here at your election headquarters, we don't want to give you numbers that are not finalized. So we give you numbers once the collation has been completed, signed by all present, then we share numbers with you. Okay, so you can trust the information you're getting from your election headquarters. We've got such a pedigree in this area, so you know you're tuned into the absolute best. Our guest, Dr. Yaw Asa Asante. Dr. Asa Asante, this made you a Yaw.
Yes. You have given me another name. Dr. Asa taking a political notice of this, but you have been pardoned. Move on.
Indeed, I appreciate it. Dr. Asa Asante has been helping us with the analysis of all that we've seen and heard as this process unfolded. Allegations of voting malpractice, allegations of assault, allegations of showing of ballots, and indeed some threats over the phone by one of the candidates, the aspirants, who certainly took exception to what he described as the muzzling and in fact the imprisonment of his polling agents and the prevention of these agents allegedly from participating in today's process. voting ended at 1 p.m. And in the next few minutes, from all regions of the country, we will start to get the numbers through. Stay right here on your election headquarters, and we will give you every single figure for your own analysis and additions. Richard Kojo-Nyarko joins us now from the YMCA. Richard, we have numbers, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do have numbers actually, and they are done collation, they are done counting, and I can give you some figures. Kennedy Ohene Japan secured 15 votes. Kennedy Japan secured 15 votes. Alan Kojo Kyerematen secured 14 votes. Joe Gate had 0 here at the YMCA Center. Kojo Poku had 0. Akoto Osei had 3. Adainimo had 1. Wachi Ejakon had 1. Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, the Vice President, secured 36. Kwabena Japan secured 1. And so these are the figures. Let me go over the figures for you once more. So a total of 72 votes. Kennedy Ohene Japan had 15 votes. Alan Kojo Kyerematen had 14. Joe Gate, the former Rural Minister, had 0. Kojo Poku, energy analyst, had 0. Akoto Osei, former Greek Minister, had 3. Adainimo had 1. Wachi Ejakon had 1. Dr. Mamudu Bawumia secured 36, and Kwabena Japan had 1 vote. And so these are the happenings at the YMCA Center here, where the Greater Accra region voted here. So the entire proceedings has come to a close, and the delegates are still here, but they are left with a final declaration by the Electoral Commission here, from where we will go to the Electoral Commission headquarters for the whole collation, or the entire collation from the various regional centers to be done. And so that is what we have here at the YMCA Center.
So a resounding victory for Dr. Bawumia. How are those present responding? These supporters who have gathered themselves at these venues, how are they responding to the YMCA outcome?
In fact, when the sorting was done and they saw the chunk that was dedicated, or that was ostensibly for Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, they started singing some songs, and they started calling on the Holy Spirit to do something for them. And lo and behold, Dr. Bawumia garnered half of the votes, 50% of the votes here, because he secured 36 and a total of 72 votes that were cast here. So let me just get closer to some of the supporters of the let's get to the Electoral Commission. They are about declaring the official results here at the YMCA Center. I'm told that they are not ready, and so we would wait a while to get the confirmation from them from what all that we have put out. But the news is that Dr. Mamudu Bawumia has secured 50% of the votes. Kennedy Ohene Japan secured 15. And then the others as follows. Let's catch some reactions from some of the delegates, the people that came to vote here, whether they are satisfied with what really has transpired. Let me get some reaction from them. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Welcome to Joy News.
Thank you very much.
So now the declaration has been done.
Yeah.
Dr. Bawumia pulled 50% of the vote that was cast here. What's your immediate reaction?
Oh, it's expected of Greater Accra, because this is the seat of government, and probably some people might have been voting based on protest. So it's something that we should expect. But I don't think that will be the true reflection in the next November elections.
Why do you think so?
Because, you know, when you are in government, some people might feel that they need to be sorted out, they need to be listened to, they need to be included in certain areas which they are not, and their views are supposed to be heard, which they are not hearing them. So in this case, people are not voting based on, especially in Greater Accra, not based on certain qualities, but based on emotions. This is something we have realized, and it has to be worked on moving forward, we make sure we clear the road.
Who were you tipping was going to win in this contest?
Oh, definitely it's going to be Dr. Bawumia. It's an obvious choice. It is strategically, he's good for the party. It's a product when you sell, it is easier for you than any other candidate. He has the qualities, he has the strength to fight the opponent and everything. So therefore, we are expecting a massive win to send a signal to the whole opposition for them to realize that the party is united behind the candidate. That is what we want to send. But hopefully other areas are very good for us, 70%, 80%, and that sounds good for all of us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me have a brief interaction with Foreign Affairs Minister, Madam Shirley Ayokobochi. Good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon.
So we are done with voting, sorting, counting. Tell me the outcome of this. What is your reaction?
Reaction? My candidate won.
Your candidate?
I'm very happy.
You're very happy?
I'm very happy. And I'd like to just say that for now, he's won. And it looks like he's won in all the other regions. What lies ahead is to work hard. We need to work hard towards the 4th of November, the general vote. And we are all pledging ourselves to work towards that.
Were you expecting more?
I was expecting more. I was expecting more in Greater Accra. Well, at least from this polling station. But it's good. He's won 50% of the vote, and we go forward and fight.
Does it mean more work?
It means more work. Yeah, we're up to the task to work hard to ensure that he gets a very wide margin. He will win, but we want a very wide margin for the 4th of November vote.
All right, thank you very much. Let me pick some thoughts from Communications Minister Madam Esla Owusu. This is the outcome from the Greater Accra region, where at least counting, and we've seen the numbers put to the names as well. Dr. Bawumia had 36, Kennedy Japan had 15, and so on and so forth. Are your expectations?
Oh, we can't just look at Greater Accra. We have to put it all together and then come up with the outcome of the election. I would have expected a bit more for Doc in the Greater Accra region, but we're satisfied that, as we predicted, he's come up tops.
So does it mean more work for you to do coming to the November 4th election?
We never underestimate any election. So I don't go into any election thinking I have already won. With or without the outcome of the results, we would still have a lot of work to do, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Satisfied with the proceedings, the entire thing? I saw you looking at the results from the other regions as well.
You have to. So we're monitoring. So you are disturbing me small now. We have to monitor what's happening elsewhere. But we're satisfied that overall, number 10 is winning by a large margin and sending a strong signal to the party and the world that he is the people's choice.
Were you surprised by the good showings by some of the other candidates?
The predictions were that 3 candidates would do well. One would be the overwhelming favorite, and it is proving exactly as was predicted. So I'm not surprised.
All right, thank you very much. And that's Communications Minister Esla Owusu speaking to us, reacting to the outcome of the results from the Greater Accra region. But when the results were being collated and counted, we were also monitoring the proceedings from other regions as well, and they seem satisfied. They believe that it's more work, it calls for more work, and they were expecting that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, their choice, was going to win, and they feel that he is won by a landslide, and it calls for more work for them to be done. And so we are waiting for the official declaration here at the YMCA Center, the Greater Accra Region Voting Center, from where we'll go to the headquarters of the Electoral Commission for the declaration of the entire result. Could you?
Richard Kojonyako, of course, bringing us the YMCA results, which means we now know the outcomes for the Greater Accra region, where Dr. Bawumia won by over 50% of the vote, and for the Upper West region, where he won by a resounding majority of 32 votes. Okay, we'll be bringing you more of these outcomes. In fact, we can bring you the OT region now. Our very own Peter Senu has been keeping an eye on things. Peter, you have the numbers. Give them to us. Right, we will be reconnecting with Peter Senu in the OT region. That's the next region from which we have numbers. In fact, I can share them with you right now because we're getting them through here in real time. So here is how things turned out in the OT region. Kennedy Agyapong had 5 votes. Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen had 6 votes. Joe Gate had 0 votes. Kwadwo Poku had 1 vote. Owusu Efiri Akoto had 2 votes. Kwabena Ejay Agyapong had 0 votes. Francis Adai Nimo had 0 votes. Kofi Konedu Apreku had 0 votes. Boakye Ejiakon had 0 votes. And Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia, out of the 30 votes cast in the OT region, had 16 votes. I'll go through those numbers again. 30 superdelegates voted in the OT region. 5 of them voted for Kennedy Agyapong. 6 of them voted for Alan Kyerematen. None of them voted for Joe Gate. 1 of them voted for Kwadwo Poku. 2 of them for Owusu Efiri Akoto. Kwabena Agyapong had none of them voting for him. Same for Francis Adai Nimo and Kofi Konedu Apreku, as well as Boakye Ejiakon. 0 votes for all of them. And Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia had 16 votes out of 30. That's for the OT region. So, Doc, anything
I'll start with the YMCA right here. I am also not surprised, because if we should go by what we heard earlier on, that there's an establishment candidate who is favored by the CEOs, by MPs, and here being the citadel of politics as far as this election is concerned, this result is to be expected. All right. That said, you can also admire the performance of Kennedy Agyapong, because one would have thought that in Accra, given the fact that Alan has been in this show for a very long time, he would have made a strong showing. But it appears to me that events have taken a different turn, and Kennedy is, coming up. It tells you the effort Kennedy has put in, and for Accra, one interesting thing is that you have all shades of opinion here. And that Kennedy's, persona is accepted from this results. It appears to me that it's accepted gradually by the people and all that. But remember that for Alan, it's surprising, because we're expecting a better performance other than what we are seeing here. If you look at Alan's campaign, I have not seen much of messages from him directly. Rather, you are getting a lot of the political issues, the real issues from his spokesman and the rest of them. And that perhaps is one of the factors that is explaining what we are having here, because for Accra, the elite, the top brass, they are here, and these are things that they want to see. What is it that you have under your sleeves that you want to share?
Speaking of top brass, of course, we've been keeping an eye on the headquarters, the NPP headquarters, one of the key voting locations, and our very own MFR Peru has been there for us. MFR has numbers. MFR, we can't wait. How did it all end at the headquarters? Right, MFI, if you can hear us, we absolutely can't wait for these numbers. How did the HQ vote? Right, okay. Forgive us for that. We're working to reconnect with MFA Apo, who has been keeping an eye on things at the HQ. But why keep you in suspense? I have the numbers here. I'll share them with you. This is how the NPP headquarters voted in this special delegates election. So there were 176 total ballots cast at NPP HQ. No spoiled ballots. Let's hear it from the horse's own mouth. MFA, if you can hear us, the numbers.
Yes, Pedro, I could hear you. I'm sorry, but I have to give you results from and then interaction with the chairman of the elections committee. I'm sure you can still see the feed just as we are wrapping up in terms of the counting. But from what we have at the election headquarters, did I say election headquarters? From the NPP headquarters, Kennedy Ejapong, 32, Alan Chemanting, 25, Joe Gate, 1. Mr. Kojokoku, 0. Dr. Etia Koto, 2. Kabana Ejaya Japong, 3. Ade Nimo, 6. Dr. Kofi Kunedwa Peku, 0. Mr. Chemanting Ejako, 0. Dr. Mahmoud Aonia, 107. Total valid votes cast, 176. There was no soft ballot. So the total ballot here was 176 and the valid vote 176. I'll go over again the results of the NPP headquarters Asylum Down Accra. From the NPP Special Delegate Congress, Kennedy Ejapong, 32. Alan Chemanting, 25. Joe Gate, 1. Kojokoku, 0. Dr. Etia Akoto, 2. Kabana Ejaya Japong, 3. Adenimo, 6. Dr. Kofi Kunedwa Peku, 0. Mr. Chemanting Ejako, 0. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, 107. Total valid votes cast from the Asylum Down headquarters of the NPP is 176. There was no false ballot, and the total ballot here is 176. So there's a result from here. And I know you're getting results from other parts of the country. We are heading to the election headquarters today, the Policing Center, which is the Electoral Commission's office, to bring you more results in terms of the valid votes and then the certified results from the Electoral Commission today.
All right. Thank you so much, MFA. For that update. MFA Apo has been keeping an eye on things at the NPP headquarters, which was a voting center in this exercise. And the numbers are in. That was a very special voting center that we were keeping an eye on because of its central relevance. 176 superdelegates voted there. There were no spoiled ballots, which means there were 176 valid votes in total. And this is how they voted. Kennedy Ejapong had 32 votes. Alan Chemanting had 25 votes. Joe Gate had 1. Kojopoku had none. Dr. Efri Akoto had 2 votes. Kwabena Ajay Ajapong had 3 votes. Mr. Adainimo had 6 votes. Dr. KK Apreku had no votes. Mr. Chemanting Ejako, Bwachi Chemanting Ejako had no votes at the NPP headquarters. And the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, had 107 of the 176 votes cast. We're bringing you more numbers, but Dr. Sasanti, something is emerging. Kennedy Ejapong seems to be performing so far in some of the places that we've been to, performing even better than Alan Chemanting.
Yeah.
How is that to be explained?
Yeah, if you look at Kennedy, a very interesting personality. Interesting in the sense that he endears himself to the rank and file as well as the top brass and even the middle class, if you like. He has messages that resonate with each of the classes, and you know, he is somebody that, for very good reasons, some of the top brass believe that there are some certain difficult things that, given to anybody, he cannot alter them except Kennedy. That bold.
I want us to come back to that analysis in a short while, but we've got more numbers. So let's go straight to the Upper East region. Okay, 31. Actually, forgive me. The total number of votes will be shared by Albert Sorry. I believe we had 36 delegates voting, or 36 valid votes in the Upper East region. Albert Sorry has the details. Albert, how did these 36 people vote?
Your call has been put on hold.
Right, forgive us. We will get Albert Sorry to confirm numbers for us, but I can share with you right now that out of these valid votes, Kennedy Ohene Ejapong had 3. Alan Kyerematen had 1. Joe Gate had none. Kojo Poku had none. Usefri Akoto had 1 vote. Kwabena Ejapong had none. Francis Adainimo had none. Kofi Konadu Apreku had none. Wache Jako had none. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 31. 31 out of the 36 valid votes counted. Kennedy Ejapong had 3. Alan Kyerematen had 1. Usefri Akoto had 1. Dr. Bawumia had 31. Each and every one of the rest had none. That's how the Upper East region voted. Albert Sorry hopefully will join us with more details about the reactions from there. But again, Kennedy Ejapong trumps Alan Kyerematen.
Yes.
And you were seeking to explain what might be behind this dynamic.
You know, Kennedy is a practical politician that he himself has alluded to this, that he tried to go down to the root, explain things to them in a very ordinary manner. Kennedy is somebody who can demonstrate to you as to how to fix the problem, right? And this is the time that people believe that there is the need for somebody who can really walk the talk, and they believe that that person, that individual is Kennedy. They need somebody who is strong and will be able to say anything and damn the consequence. You need somebody who is bold, fearless, and very courageous to take up certain bold decisions. So people believe that Kennedy is that type of candidate who is worth considering, and that is what is playing out. Right. And because of his appeal to rank and file as well as top brass and the middle class, you realize that in places where there is the population is dense, you see his performance. In places where you have sparsely, defined population, he is also there. It gives you an inkling as to how the party receives him. Remember that his loyalty, towards the party is not missing out here. People believe that he has served the party so well, so I'm sure they are paying him off. In that regard. It's going to be very interesting when we get to the final elections.
Indeed. All right, now Albert Sorry joins us now. We just shared the numbers from the Upper East region, but Albert, how are people reacting to yet another routing by Dr. Bawumia?
Okay, so it was very brief. It appears that the consensus in the region is that this is an internal process, and so they do not expect any sort of too much of shouting and merrymaking and jubilation and all of that. So there wasn't so much of a jubilation per se, but we have a brass band playing and a few people are dancing. It also looks as if people are now dispersing because the election has officially been declared by the Electoral Commission. And so that is how it has been. It has been a very peaceful process in this region. There was no incident at all. The only thing is that the voting did not start at 7 a.m. as planned. It started at exactly 10 o'clock in the morning. And before 1 p.m., everyone had voted. They just waited till 1 o'clock before they started the counting and then eventually declared the results.
Right. Well, Dr. Bawumia takes 31 out of the 36 votes. Were there any spoiled ballots?
No, so the 36 is exactly the number of delegates we have in this region, and so there was no spoiled ballots. All the ballots were valid. The 15 delegates, we are told, included the 15 regional executives, 15 constituency chairmen, and then the only MPs that the NPP has in this region. Then we have the regional minister and 2 national council members. So these are the people who made up the 16 delegates who voted today. And so that is how it went.
All right, well, thank you for that. And that was our very own Albert Sori reporting from the Upper East region. Let's go to the Savannah region. And there, Isaac Nonya has been keeping an eye on things. Now, Isaac, you have the numbers, but you also have an intriguing story. There was an arrest. Am I right?
That's right. That is very correct.
Tell us what happened.
Yes, first with the arrest. The Savannah Regional organizer of the party, Nana Abuaje, he came late, after everybody has voted, to count his vote.
Albert, forgive me. We're going to get the rest of that story in a moment, but we have to go now for the official announcement by the electoral officials at the NPP headquarters of the results there. All right, let's go straight across now.
Alan Pedro Chamatin, 25 votes. Joe Garte, 1 vote. Pedro Poku, 0. Owusu Efriye Akoto, 2 votes. Kwabena in Japan, 3 votes. Francis Adai Nimo, 6 votes. Kofi Kunedu Apraku, 0. Boache Jakon, 0. Mahamudu Bawumia, 107. Total valid votes, 176. Rejected ballots, 0. Total votes in the box, 176. Thank you very much. We are done.
And that was something that we had to do just to demonstrate to you that the numbers that we are calling are valid. They are based on the actual confirmed figures from the Electoral Commission. Okay, you can trust all the numbers you get from us here from your election headquarters. Let's go back to the Savannah region. Isaac Nonya was telling us a tale of arrest regarding one of the party executives who turned up to vote. Isaac, pick up from where you left off. What happened next?
You know, the Savannah Regional NPP organizer, Nana Kwame Abuaje, he happened to be one of the 2 people who came late. Then after starting his vote, he decided to say to the 2 delegates, the agents who were standing there. Then a gentleman by name Isaku Kotoma, one of the agents of Alan Pedro Chamatin, they wrote on him to prevent him from dropping the ballot because against the guidelines of this election. Then the Electoral Commission intervened by taking away the ballot papers of him and casting it on the spot. That the police moved in and then took him away. I will put his in police custody at the regional command. Also, the few who were there, 2 other ballot papers were cancelled. We told these are export ballot papers. Out of the 10 who took part in the election, like Martin Koruan, Nana Abuache Jako got 1 vote, Kenya Japan got 7 votes, and Dr. Bawumia got 19 votes. So I was the Electoral Commission officially declared the results, and then the vote started very late because between 7 and 9 a.m. it was raining here. It stopped somewhere 10, and then based on the numbers that was to vote, 30 of them, they came in and then they also finished in time. I will keep a good number of them are still here trying to know, to authenticate the numbers that the various actors have gotten, while the agents of Alan Kyerematen are insisting that Nana Boaji, the regional organizer who voted and showed the ballot box to people, to be prosecuted according to the guidelines of the party.
Wow. Okay. So I guess this is how it all unfolded. 30 delegates voted. 2 votes were rejected, which means there were 28 valid votes.
Yes.
Out of which Kennedy Agyapong had 7.
Yes.
Alan Kyerematen had 1. Boakye Ejiako had 1. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 19.
That's correct.
And everybody else had 0.
Yes. 0.
Wow, Isaac, thank you for that. Thanks very much. And that's how the Savannah region voted. Now, one of the key regions in this race is the Asante region. There are many who believe in the next election, it is the Asante region that will make or break the outcome. In fact, when it comes to choosing the flag bearer, the Asante region is always a powerhouse. Especially since they are the source of so many delegates. Well, let's see if their super delegates are representative of the desires of the larger delegate group. Nana Yao Jima is there and he has the numbers. Nana Yao, how did the Asante region vote?
But presently, the EC officials are going through the numbers once again to certify the results. But as we speak now, we have provisional results trickling in, and as you can see behind me, supporters of some of these candidates are excited about the provisional results that are out now. My colleague Nana Boakye will run us through the provisional results we have here. Nana, you have the numbers. Run us through it.
All right, so Nana, let me first start with the jubilation. It cuts across Kennedy Agyapong, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and then Alan Kyerematen. The results we have here, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, the first place had 6. Alan Kyerematen in the second had 10. Joe Gatti had 0. Dr. Kojo Poku also had 0. Dr. Free Akoto had 5. Abena Eje Ejapon had 0. Honorable Ade Nimo had 0. Dr. Kofi Kunedu Apreku had 0. Mr. Kyerematen Ejapon had 0. And then His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia had 97 votes, making it 118 votes. Initially, we should be having 119 votes in the Ashanti region, but unfortunately, the Member of Parliament for Chumanwa Beja South, Emmanuel Ankere, was not allowed to enter the polling center to cast his vote. He came in 5 minutes late, so the EC officials did not give him the permission to enter the voting center to cast his votes.
So these are provisional results we are giving you now. The EC officials are still within their tents, and they are trying to again certify the results so that we have certified results we can give to our audience out there. Nana Boakye will once again run us through the figures. What we are having, what we know is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is leading, and it's a commanding lead for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in the home region of about 7 of the candidates in this election. Nana Boakye once again run us through your numbers.
All right, so Nana, this is the provisional results we have here. Kennedy Agyapong had 6. Alan Kyerematen had 10. Joe Gatti had 0. Mr. Kojo Poku had 0. Dr. Efriye Akoto had 5. Abena Eje Ejapong had 0. Honorable Ade Nimo had 0. Dr. Kofi Kunedu Apreku had 0. And His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia had 97 votes, meaning that His Excellency won with over 80% votes in the Ashanti region. So as we speak, His Excellency the Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, his supporters here are jubilating as he wins the regional votes in the Ashanti region, I must say. So that's up on your screen. There are supporters of Kennedy Agyapong who are also jubilating. As a matter of fact, their candidates also gathered some votes in the Ashanti region. Supporters of Honorable Alan Kyerematen have also camped themselves elsewhere, jubilating because their candidates also had some votes. But Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, his supporters are really really jubilating, and they engaged us earlier, saying that this is an indication that November 4th they are going to win the flag bearership. Nana, over to you.
So the supporters you see in your shot jubilating are supporters of Kennedy Ohene Japan. Very excited supporters. Even though their candidate didn't win the Ashanti region, they believe that the numbers he had here are very encouraging. Mind you, this is the home region for about 7 of these candidates, and some of the candidates have had 0 in their home region. So it should prove to you that if Kennedy Japan from the central region has been able to amass this number of votes in the Ashanti region, his supporters should be very happy by what they are seeing. Excitement all over. Just describe the mood.
Yeah, the most important thing is that we've qualified to the next stage.
How do you know you've qualified? Because this is the numbers we are seeing is just the Ashanti region.
Oh, we've got our coalition center bringing us all the figures from the other regions. We have qualified. As we have qualified from the collated votes from all the other regions. And for that matter, we are going to be in context and we are going to give them a run for their money.
We know that the vice president took a commanding lead, and from the numbers we are seeing, it looks like he's way ahead of your candidate. What makes you believe that when we get to the Congress itself, your candidate will be able to, pick up and lead when it comes to the Congress?
Less than 1,000 people out of 200 and over 1,000 people. It tells you that it's just a minute percentage. So the larger numbers, the raw people, the raw deciders are over 200,000, and they are going to decide. If you see the excitement behind us, it will tell you something. You saw a lot of these people who came to vote being hooted at. It tells you that the masses are not in support of what they are doing, and the masses are going to vote against them. And I'm telling you, Kennedy Japan has shown that he is leading the masses, and for that matter, we are hopeful and we believe that's going to be our day.
Your name?
Fred Archie.
So Fred is spokesperson for the Kennedy Japan campaign team. Excitement, and he believes that the numbers, it's likely that when it gets to the main Congress itself, Kennedy Ohene Japan will be able to make a statement and, if possible, win. I have with me one of the constituency executives of the Nshasu constituency. He played a major part of the Kennedy, Dr. Baumia's campaign team. Also is Dr. Insiasari. Nana Wache.
Okay, so we have Dr. Anthony Insiasari, the presidential advisor on health. He came here to monitor the electoral process. Look, when you came here, when you monitored the process, how has it been for you?
I will give 100% to the election committee. They've done perfectly well. Everything was going on smoothly. As for the people enjoying and celebrating, it's normal. But if you look at the election processes, everything went on perfectly well. I was here in the morning when it was raining. I observed it and came back during the counting. And I'm very happy and also very proud that I'm a member of the NPP. This is how elections are. And if you conduct the elections in this way, there will be no need for police. So far, so
okay, so aside that being aside, Dr. Elijah Mahmoud Bawumia is said to have won the Ashanti region with some 97 votes. Is that what you were expecting?
Yes, I was expecting that. Basically, all of us have been following what is going on. So we have to listen to the ground. I'm sure that all the who came to vote listen to their people. They listen to the delegates.
Well, so that's how the Ashanti region is receiving the news, a resounding victory once again for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now you can see on our screen, if we can bring that back up, this is our dashboard. It's being updated in real time. All right, so if you keep your eye on it, and we'll be bringing it up onto the screen periodically, this is telling you in real time how the numbers are shaping up. Who is in lead, followed by whom and whom and whom and so forth. And you can see right now, looking at this dashboard, that out of 14 from the 17 voting centers, from 14 of them, you can see a lead of 68.6% for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So far, he's got 533 of the votes. Okay, you've got Alan Kyerematen with 13.51%. Kennedy Agyapong with 13.51%. Alan Kyerematen with 10.4%. And then from that point onwards is Dr. Efri Akoto with 3.99%. Adainimo has 1.03%. And then we've got Joe Garte with 0.5%. Francis Adainimo with 0.99%. We've got Kwadwo Poku with 0.35%. And 0.12% going to Dr. KK Apreku. And these numbers keep updating, all right? 67.1% right now to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Still 14 out of 17 centers collated so far, okay? We'll bring you the final official announcement from the Electoral Commission once they have done the totals themselves, but we are keeping you up to date with the confirmed numbers from each region, okay? There were 17 voting centers across the 16 regions, and we'll keep updating them as we go. All right. Now, Samuel Kojo Brace is at the NPP headquarters. He has the latest. Kojo?
Of the various camps and understand or the party in general and get their reaction to this particular election. So if you just joined us, this is the NPP's National